Oh, it's gonna bite me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ethan Zahn, and welcome to Earth Tripping. I'm on a journey to explore the biggest cities in the world in an eco-friendly way. This is travel with a whole new perspective, one that's environmentally and culturally sensitive. I'm out to see the city, meet the locals, experience their culture, and learn the innovative ways they help preserve our planet. This island may be known as Asia's little red dot, but today I'm in search of all the green spots in Singapore. From Chinatown by Trishaw, to dragon boat racing on the river, to dinner a la Scorpion.
Ready?
Get ready for some earth tripping in Singapore. Singapore is a tiny island nation, sitting just below the southern tip of Malaysia, a mere degree above the equator. It's the smallest country in Southeast Asia, with a mainland of only 26 miles east to west and 14 miles north to south. At first glance, Singapore looks like a modern metropolis of skyscrapers. But dig a little deeper, and you'll discover a surprising amount of cultural sites and ecological offerings for the intrepid traveler. The name Singapore is derived from Singapura and means Lion City. The symbol of Singapore is the merlion, which you see right there, which is half lion and half fish. It faces out to sea from the mouth of the Singapore River, spouting water day and night. Many countries tried to control this strategic island, but only one empire was destined to succeed. In 1819, a British officer named Sir Stamford Raffles landed on this very spot and claimed the island for England. He made it a tariff-free port, and migrant workers poured in by the thousands. Singapore became a melting pot of Asian cultures. Raffles colonized the country and laid out a plan to divide the city into ethnic zones. And today, there are 3 distinct cultural sections of the city: Little India, the Arab Quarter, and Chinatown. Chinatown is the largest neighborhood in the city, and the best way to see it is by trishaw. Trishaws were first introduced to Singapore in 1914. Before that, the popular mode of transportation was the rickshaw, and you could go a half a mile for only 3 cents. This is the way to see Chinatown in Singapore, that's for sure. And what is this temple right here?
This is Tien Ho King, Singapore's oldest Chinese temple.
The Ten Ho Kin Temple was built by Chinese sailors to honor Ma Zu Po, the goddess of the sea. They came here to give thanks for a safe journey, extending offerings and burning joss sticks. Every inch of this temple is exquisite, from the dragons on the roof to the sculptures inside. Since Ma Zu Po is looking out for travelers, I decide to give my thanks as well. Some come to pray, and others to find out what the future may hold for them. These are prediction sticks, and hopefully they're going to tell me what my future may bring. And the way the process works is you shake them vigorously until one stick falls out. And then the second part of the process is you drop these pieces of wood, and if they land one up and one down, then your prediction will be correct. So, and my prediction is correct. And now, I just need it translated.
It say that probably you have to get married earlier, then your children will have a better life.
All right. Thank you. From the lantern-lined streets of Chinatown, I'm walking north to the colorful community of Little India, where streets are lined with garland stalls and religious shops. The most eye-catching landmark is easily the Veeramakaliamman Temple. The entrance tower, called a gopuram, is decorated with painted sculptures of gods, goddesses, and mythological beasts. It's built to be visible from afar, so Hindus can pray without stepping inside the temple.
The tiny bells on the doors behind me are rung to announce to God that you're about to begin to pray.
This temple is dedicated to Kali, the goddess of courage. Throughout the day, priests offer blessings in a ritual called puja. Worshippers line up to receive flowers and sandalwood paste that they touch to the middle of their foreheads, the location of the spiritual eye. The smallest ethnic neighborhood in Singapore is Kampung Glam, the Arab Quarter, a quick 5-block walk east of Little India. At its heart is the Sultan Mosque, a spectacular religious building and the focal point for Muslims. The mosque is a mix of Persian, Moorish, and Turkish architecture, and its prayer hall holds 5,000 people. The Arab influences are everywhere, from street signs to sidewalk cafes.
Singapore is this far from the equator and it is hot. Now I know what it feels like to be on the surface of the sun. So a little mint iced tea in the Arab Quarter can definitely cool you down.
Here in Singapore, the emphasis is on balancing life with nature, and many rely on the Chinese practice of feng shui. If you want to build a house, or even find a site for your grave, you call in a feng shui expert. Yoon is a 6th-generation master with clients all over the world.
What is the goal of feng shui?
To make people have more wealth. And then after that, to have good relationship, it's about the yin and the yang of the place.
This philosophy was included in the blueprints of Suntec City, designed to resemble a left hand. The buildings were built in the shape of fingers, with the fountain of wealth as the palm. This fountain is the largest in the world, with water flowing in rather than out.
Actually means all the wealth will be coming in instead of going out.
Feng Shui is said to have the ability to create peace between man-made objects and the natural environment.
Traditionally, we are building things by harmonizing with the environment. Human behavior is also nature. If you want to bring more happiness, more wealth, more good relationship, you have to do something that helps us to work well with the environment.
Before leaving, Master Yoon encourages me to soak in the positive energy of the fountain. Locals believe that circling the inside part 3 times in a clockwise direction will bring you good luck. Hungry from all my walking, I've arrived at the Newton Circus Hawker Center, just a few streets north of the Orchard Road shopping district. Food is a national obsession in Singapore, and the most popular place for locals to grab a meal is at any one of the city's hawker centers. These centers originated long ago, when hawkers wandered the streets carrying a stove and ingredients. They would set up wherever customers could be found. These days, they've evolved into something like a gourmet food court.
We got everything here.
The choices range from Chinese to Malay to Indian, as fresh as you can get.
So this is a live crab. Oh, it's gonna bite me.
You can watch the chefs cook your meal while you wait, or tell them your table number and they'll deliver it right to you. Lots of options here, but at the top of my list, the chili crab, Singapore's signature dish.
So how do I go about? Do I just dig in and eat it, or do I need to crack it, or how do I eat this?
You can take out and eat already.
Oh, you already cracked it
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
I'm just gonna get all like caveman on you guys. It's not as spicy as I thought. It's kind of a sweet, spicy chili flavor, but I can see why it's a specialty here in Singapore.
The hawker centers are more than just a place to eat a meal. They're a way to experience the culture through food. I'm heading northeast to Changi Village to catch a ferry that promises to take me from urban jungle to rural tranquility in only 10 minutes.
This bumboat ride is taking me from the small island of Singapore to the even smaller island called Pulau Ubin.
The short crossing from Changi Village Ferry Terminal to the dock at Pulau Ubin is so fast, you barely have time to sit. but the change in atmosphere is dramatic. The island started out as a fishing village and was turned into plantations for coffee and rubber during World War II. Less than 100 people live here today, keeping the window into Singapore's past wide open.
Pulau Ubin's largely undeveloped, so it's got lots of hills and dirt trails, which means it's perfect for mountain biking. Good morning, how you doing? Yeah, I'd love to rent a bike. How much is it?
$10 for whole day.
Nice. So it's only 10 Singaporean dollars to rent the bike for the whole day.
The island has been preserved and redesigned with enough nature activities to keep you busy for an entire day. Paths are clearly marked to help you get around, and the island is full of pleasant surprises. The eastern coast is called Chek Jawa, and it's an area of intertidal flats and coastal forest. Just in this tiny area alone, there are several different ecosystems. The sensory trail was developed to give people a chance to experience Ubin using their sense of smell and touch. It's an excellent way to get introduced to the natural character of the island and learn everyday uses for native plants. Looping around the mangroves is a long boardwalk that offers a peaceful place for hiking. It leads to Jajawi Tower, totally worth the 7-story climb. Here you can see all the natural beauty of the island from high above. There's a lot more green spaces in Singapore than first meets the eye, and many of them are in the central and northwest sections of the country. The McRitchie Reservoir is part of the largest nature preserve on the island. The highlight is a freestanding suspension bridge called the Treetop Walk that lets you walk through the forest canopy and, if you're lucky, see some long-tailed macaques.
And scientists believe that over half the world's animals and plants live in forest canopies.
In an effort towards environmental responsibility, the government initiated the Singapore Green Plan, a 10-year national blueprint to create a sustainable environment for future generations.
The island has increased its landmass, cleaned up its air and water supply, and is focused on preserving its parkland areas.
Just south of the reservoir is another Zen-like place worth a visit, the National Orchid Garden, reachable by bus. It has the largest exhibit of tropical orchids in the world. 60,000 are on display, including the national flower of Singapore, a hybrid orchid called the Vanda Miss Joaquim. I'm traveling northwest along the Pan Island Expressway to the Singapore Zoo. With no cages and minimal barriers, they've created a free-range habitat where people can get really close to the animals.
We have transformed ourselves from a traditional viewing zoo to a learning zoo. Our main mission is to get people closer to nature.
These are the Asian elephants, and how cool is this that I get to feed them?
The fundamental thing is conserving wildlife. In Asia, people are very used to helping the people, the poor people, the young and the sick. But talking about wildlife conservation is still a very new subject because we eat anything with legs except tables and chairs.
One of their greatest successes is their captive breeding program with the endangered orangutan.
In the last 34 years, we bred about 33 orangutans. One of the reasons that the orangutan is highly endangered in Sumatra is because people keep the young as pets.
In the mornings, the orangutan climb across the treetops to have breakfast with zoo visitors, all safely monitored by the staff.
Wow, this is amazing. Look how close you can get to them.
We feed the orangutan with a wide variety of fruit that they can find in the rainforest.
Amazing, their hands are so soft.
Very gentle.
What is this called?
Jambu.
You want a jambu? Not my hand, just the fruit.
Many exotic pets are sold illegally in Asia, and the zoo is trying to stop that.
We want to use our zoo as the living and learning classroom to talk about wildlife conservation, research and education. So we hope we could fulfill that mission.
Singapore has a limited amount of farmland, so a lot of their food has to be imported. I'm all about eating local, so I've traveled north to a farm that is working hard to make Singapore more agriculturally self-sustaining. Taking root at Aerogreen Farms is a process of dirt-free farming called aeroponics, that has the potential to supply Singapore with an abundance of locally grown food.
Aeroponic system is a system that grows plants where the roots are suspended within the confines of a trough. Nutrients are fed to the roots in the form of a spray. It is a modified form of hydroponics.
It takes less than 4 weeks to go from seedling to mature plant. So a 4-month growing cycle is reduced to only 1 month.
How is this changing farming in Singapore?
We are actually increasing productivity of the single piece of land by 4 times.
Dr. Lee believes this is the farming of the future.
There is a shift towards developing agricultural system that will not be dependent on too much of our forest land being removed.
The starring crop at Aerogreen Farms is lettuce. They've invented a new way to enjoy it. Lettucino.
It actually tastes like a lime lemonade it's a little bit chunky, but it's good. And there's a slight hint of lettuce.
You're actually taking in a good amount of protein, a good amount of fiber, which is very good for health. If you take a bottle a day, it provides you all the vitamin C that you need.
Perfect.
Starbucks may have something to worry about. Back on the mainland, I'm heading to Sentosa Island, a barrier beach accessible by bridge via car or monorail. The sand was imported and the palm trees planted, but it's fast becoming the hotspot for local Singaporeans to go swimming and get in some beach volleyball.
You guys mind if I play just for a couple of times? Which team is winning? You're winning? Yeah, come on this side. Oh my God, we got pros here. Nice.
The most picturesque way to get back from Sentosa is by cable car. This short trip will give you some of the most spectacular views of the island, and you can even choose to have dinner service as you loop around. Just across the bridge from Sentosa is the Imperial Herbal Restaurant, a truly unique dining experience. Their culinary creations are blended with herbal medicines that promise to put your yin and yang in proper alignment. There's no chef recommendations here. Instead, you get a Chinese physician who, after a quick exam, prescribes a meal for you.
In this hand, I will read your lung, your spleen, and your right kidney.
So lung, spleen, and right kidney.
Yeah, can I see your tongue, please? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Which is better, yang or yang?
For men, the yang is better.
Really? So I want to have strong yang.
For men, strong yang is good. But too much is no good. Only recommend you can take the deer penis wine also. For men, it's good.
That's deer penis?
Yeah.
Wow. So you drink this and what happens to you?
It make you strong.
Yeah?
It's good for men, especially men.
Strong up here or strong down there?
Up here and below, everywhere. Yeah.
Maybe later. After my diagnosis of a stuffy nose and slight dehydration,
All right, I'm ready for my meal.
specific ingredients strengthen and improve different organs. I'm starting with an herbal tonic.
Wow, you double as a doctor and a waiter.
That's the specialty of the house.
Oh my God. You don't even need to drink it and my sinuses are already, cleared.
The first course arrives.
Yummy.
And they keep on coming. Instead of classifying foods according to carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, the Chinese method classifies food according to the energy of the herb. Like opposites, hot or cold, yin or yang.
Oh, this is the scorpion and the ants.
So I'm about to eat my very first scorpion. I'm excited. Ready?
Right? You must eat the poison as well.
The poison? Uh-oh. It's good.
But the Chinese love to eat. And we eat not to live, but to live to eat.
I think I can already feel my yin balancing with my yang. When the Chinese landed on the shores of Singapore, they brought with them the Asian tradition of dragon boat racing. The sport originated in China about 3,000 years ago with a popular poet who drowned himself in the Yangtze River to protest government corruption. Fishermen raced their boats out to rescue him, drumming to chase away the dragons and throwing rice dumplings into the water so fish wouldn't eat his body. Thus began the tradition. and it's now a popular weekend workout with expats and locals. Sundays are practice day, and many teams will let you join in on their training sessions along the Singapore River.
We are the German Dragons, but we are only maybe 40 or 50% Germans, and the other members are from the Netherlands, from America, from Singapore, of course, from Malaysia, from Indonesia,
From everywhere.
from everywhere.
And how often do you guys practice?
Before races, 3 times a week.
3 times a week,
Yeah.
really? So this is a serious kind of
This
sport.
is a serious sport.
Really?
Yes. You have to use your core. A lot of people cheat, they do this.
Right, you don't
So,
want to do that.
yeah,
so it's almost like this
and you,
that.
so basically your shoulders turn. Yeah, so it's this.
I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. Oh my God. And how long are we gonna go today?
Usual training session is 2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours.
Right now I'm getting ready to go dragon boat racing. It's my first time. I'm seeing the number 4 spot, which I heard is one of the best spots on the boat, right? Yeah. But I got the best team in Singapore and I got the greatest coaches, so I'm ready to charge the river, I guess.
Let's go! Push!
It looks easier than it is, I promise you that.
The drummer keeps the pace by drumming the entire time. His job is to motivate the crew, and sometimes he'll tell them they're winning, even if they're not.
That's just the warm-up, and look me, I'm drenched.
No, that wasn't the warm-up.
That wasn't the warm-up.
No.
Now we start the warm-up.
Now we start the warm-up.
Oh my God. I'll invest in a motor for the team.
If you're up to the challenge, this is a one-of-a-kind way to see Singapore. My last night in Singapore coincides with the first night of the Mid-Autumn Festival.
Mid-Autumn Festival means mooncake time.
This Chinese tradition celebrates the autumn equinox and is a time to appreciate the moon at its fullest. Colorful lanterns light the streets of Chinatown as families gather to eat, shop, and watch traditional dance performances. Looks like I've come full circle in Singapore. How very feng shui of me.
I started my journey here in the heart of Singapore's Chinatown, and I'm ending it here in the midst of one of their ancient celebrations. Singapore is a progressive city, exceptionally well-planned and forward-thinking. It's full of friendly people, fabulous food, and has been a great island to go earth tripping on. I'm Ethan Zahn. See you next time.